Good evening, Kennedy parents. How are y'all doing? Hopefully, everything is working correctly. I see that Wyatt and his family are already checking in on the chat. I'm so glad you guys are taking some time out right now to hang out with me for about the next 15, 20 minutes or so. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, things like that, please use the chat window over there on the side to post those. And also, you are welcome to message me through Class Dojo, trying to really keep that on all hours of the day so that I can be as connected as possible. I've got quite a few things that I want to talk to you about, but I'm going to wait just a couple of moments so we can get everybody in. We've got about 8 people here right now watching. That's good. Hey, went up to 9. It's like an auctioneer or something. So how y'all doing? How are you doing? I hope you're doing really well. I know this is a very strange experience, being mostly homebound and not going to school and all that sort of stuff. I know it's definitely odd from the teacher side of things. We're scrambling behind the scenes. That's a bad word, scrambling. We are strategically working behind the scenes to try to make as positive of a situation out of this as we can. We're meeting on a daily basis with our 3rd grade team as well as school-wide. Just trying to have a plan that is going to be really successful in making sure that we're taking our kids forward academically, and also trying to make it as manageable as possible for families so that we're not heaping all sorts of burdens on you. So taking a look here. Oh, excellent. Hey, I see a comment in there from Wyatt's family that about the parade tomorrow. So before we head any further into my talking points, I do want to mention that if you've not checked into the Class Dojo school-wide story, there are information bits coming all the time on a daily basis from Mr. Attell and from other teachers talking about events that are coming up. And tomorrow is kind of an exciting thing that Mr. Flock brainstormed, this parade through the Kennedy work area, the service area, through the neighborhoods with a bunch of Kennedy teachers and staff in our cars, waving, hoping to see as many of you as possible. We're going to be leaving Kennedy about 10 o'clock. And the routes are posted on the school-wide Class Dojo. So if you haven't had a chance to look at those, please do. Mr. Flock worked really hard to try to incorporate every single neighborhood that we possibly could. But considering that we've got 600 students, that's a little bit challenging. Plus, when some of them are a little bit further out. So we did the best we can. And maybe it's something we can do again in the future. If we missed your house this time, then we'll try to get it next time. Hey, Sophia. So good to see you here. Yeah, Brandon, man, I miss you guys too. I don't have you interjecting creativity through the course of my day right now, and there's just this emptiness in the Cosand experience because of that. So continuing on. So let me tell you a couple things. First off, if you had a chance to look at Dr. Champion's Facebook Live session earlier this week, he had his 2 talking points behind him posted on the bookshelf. Don't panic was the one he kept referring back to, and the other one was grace and simplicity. Is that right, Ms. Crandall?
Grace, simplicity, yes.
Grace and simplicity, exactly. And you know, those are the things that I keep coming back to, that the teachers and the staff keep coming back to. This is new, uncharted territory for all of us. You've heard that time and time again. And so we're really trying not just to survive and get through it, but to really be able to be successful, to thrive, to support each other, to support student learning and progress and success, and to really end up with something that we can look back at and said, you know what, we rallied. And we talk about with students doing difficult things, challenging themselves, trying to have great grit and character. And this is an opportunity for all of us to show those same qualities that we hold out as our goals as teachers and learners. So I'm excited about that. Is it ideal? Of course not. But good things happen in non-ideal situations if we just persevere. Don't panic, grace and simplicity. So I want to touch on this idea that Kennedy students are really in the same situation as students all across our district, all across our state, and honestly, pretty much across the country. School is out. And from the Oregon Department of Education, the indications are that it's a good chance that school will be out for the rest of this calendar year, this school calendar year. We might not be back in the classroom. If we are, hallelujah, that'll be wonderful. But if we're not, that's why we're getting this thing going right now, just trying to have a system in place, a process that we go through daily weekly so that we are getting towards those academic learning goals, even if it's not the most ideal situation. So there's a good chance, like I said, that as far as the Oregon Department of Education is saying right now, that we will not be back in the classroom this school year, but we are going to be making progress nonetheless. But if you ever have that concern that, well, my child is going to be falling behind, or they're not going to be in the same place academically that other students at other schools or districts or parts of the state are in, like I said, we're all in the same boat. We're all managing the best that we can and trying to be successful even with the challenges. So our students are not going to be further behind. They're not going to be losing out. Ultimately, we'll make sure that we build in learning opportunities. And as a grade level, like I mentioned, Mr. Flock and Mrs. Maytanis and I were meeting on a regular basis. We're texting throughout the day, meeting in Zoom conferences most days, just to make sure that we're all on the same page and that we're trying to cover everything that needs to be covered so that your student is going to be in a good place. How learning happens, it looks different, but it'll still be our goal to have academic success. Something that we're going to start doing next week, I mean, this open house right now is the first step in this plan that the third grade teachers have come up with as far as having weekly class and meeting schedules. We can't do the face-to-face thing, but we can still connect using things like YouTube live stream, Zoom video conferences, and Google Hangouts or Meet. We'll kind of determine what's going to be the best for students. But what we'll do every Friday, you got the first learning grid, sort of the soft start learning grid. We posted that earlier this week. Just to give you sort of an overview of what that will look like each week, the idea of this grid with columns, and you choose an activity, either online or offline, from each one of those columns, and the student completes it in their own time, and at the end, by the end of the week, they've submitted something back to the teacher. I've had several students who have done something offline, and mom or dad have taken a picture of it and sent it to me on Class Dojo. That works brilliantly. Taya did a walk around her neighborhood and took photos and wrote a poem about it, and it was outstanding. So I got to see that. I know Jackie's been working on some stuff. Hey, Jackie, it's good to see you on the chat here. So every Friday by 5 o'clock, we will be posting the learning grid for the next week. So you'll have that idea of here's what we're trying to cover for the next week. And the grid will be pretty much the same format that you got yesterday on Class Dojo. It'll be divided into 3 different columns for the third grade classroom teacher. So there'll be an English language arts or reading column, communication, writing. There'll be a column for math, and then a column that is combined science and social studies. And then there will be a second page that you'll also see that is filled with activities from Mr. Alonso, our PE teacher, that are focused on health and wellness, as well as some music and arts activities from Mrs. Summers, our music teacher. So again, it's a collaborative effort from all the third grade teachers plus our specialists to really try to give activities both online and offline that will be compelling and challenging and growth opportunities for our students. So that'll be coming out every Friday. It'll happen tomorrow about 5 p.m. You'll get a new learning grid that'll be posted both on Class Dojo and then also over on Google Classroom for students. And that's really the way that I'm going to try to maintain the flow of communication. For the parents, Class Dojo will continue to be our major touch point. So I will post things every so often through the week. I'm going to really try hard not to inundate you. I want to try to be very thoughtful. You don't need extra noise coming your way. So I will try to really keep that to a minimum as far as what I post. But when there's something important like this, that'll be coming to parents through Class Dojo. And then also for students, we will be using Google Classroom, just like we do in the classroom normally. We'll be doing it at a distance. And so that weekly learning grid will be shared out via Dojo and via Google Classroom every Friday. And then Monday morning, I'll post about 8 o'clock, I'll post a short video, 2, 3, 4 minutes on Class Dojo, just in the story there, just kind of touching base with what that learning grid contains. Sort of my little, hey, hope you're doing great, had a great weekend. Here's what is ahead for this week on the learning grid. Just a little video out from me to you, for you to share with your students. That'll come on Monday at 8 a.m. And then coming up on Tuesday, we probably won't start this next week because we want to make sure that every student has a device of some sort, Chromebooks. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but they are on their way. So Tuesday mornings, once we get up and running, we'll have 20-minute Zoom or Google Hangouts class sessions. I've divided the class into three different groups with 9 students each, and that just makes it more manageable for us to meet virtually in a video conference setting. So we'll do one group from 9 a.m. to 9:20. We'll do another group from 9:30 to 9:50, and we'll do the final group from 10 o'clock to 10:20. And then we'll do that Tuesday mornings each week. And I think it's just really important for us to have as close to that face-to-face interaction as possible. So I can connect with your students and just see how things are going, and let them give me feedback, and we can clear up any confusion or whatever. That'll happen Tuesday mornings. And then also on Wednesday, about 5:30, just like today, I want to be able to continue to do this parent open house, just to provide this kind of more of a global opportunity for us to connect. You can ask questions. I see we've got some questions coming in on Dojo as well as in the stream there. So just an opportunity for you to give me feedback. Now, you don't have to wait until Wednesdays at 5:30. You can definitely let me know through the week as questions arise via Class Dojo. That really is the best way to do it. Email does still work. I haven't shut that off, but it just helps me out a lot if I just have one place that I'm looking for parent communication. And we have 100% of our students represented on Class Dojo. So that is wonderful. That's to your credit. So there we go. Those are the major 3 or 4 ways that we'll be connecting each week. Learning Grid on Friday, Monday morning, short video on Dojo, Tuesday morning, conferences with small groups of students, Wednesday afternoon, just like this, the parent YouTube live session. Chromebooks, I mentioned that a moment ago. I know I've had a couple of questions this week. We have received word from Mr. Attell. He's actually already posted it on the General Kennedy Class Dojo story, as well as on the school Facebook page, that it looks like we've got Chromebooks available for every student. So if you do not have a device at home, and obviously we want your student to have a device, so if you don't have something already in place, then we will be communicating how we will distribute Chromebooks, hopefully starting next Wednesday for 6th grade, and then working back down through the grade levels. 3rd grade, you are a huge priority, but we are starting with the older students. That's a school district directive there. So hopefully by the end of next week, if not by the early part of the following week, every kiddo will have a Chromebook if they don't already have something at home. Learning Grid, really look at it as just a weekly overview, a plan. It's a little loose. I'm not subscribing or prescribing something for you to do every moment of the day. It's an overview. It's a weekly schedule for kids and parents to look at and make some choices, like a menu. Choose things that work well for you. What will be the best fit for your situation at home for the time that you've got? I don't want it to be a stressful thing. I want it to be something that is as easy and manageable as possible. The way that works out is, like I said, there are columns, and there's a column for math, there's a column for reading, a column for social studies and science. Just choose one item from each one of those columns. You're not expected to do everything on that list. That probably looks overwhelming. Just choose one thing. And students can submit those things right now. Like I said already, parents can take a photo and submit that in a message on Class Dojo. Works brilliantly. Eventually, they can submit those assignments through Google Classroom once we get everybody up and running. The next couple of weeks, very low key. We're just trying to adapt to this and get our sea legs under us. Looking as far as what else can you do, the last day of our actual physical meeting together as a school, I sent home a slip of paper that had about a half a dozen different learning websites and programs that we've been using at school that you were able to access from home. So hopefully your kiddo had that, brought it home, and still has it. Maybe it's on the refrigerator somewhere. But I also posted those on Class Dojo. I will repost that at some point, just so you have some of that login information, sort of a little cheat sheet so you know what services and programs you can use and how to get into them. But if you need more activities, those are some great places to go. We use Imagine Math Facts in the classroom. You can use it at home. We use iReady in the classroom for math and for reading. You can use that at home. If you're looking for books to read, Epic is a great source for that. Sora is another online digital library. Your students can be taking Who's Reading tests. Our class hasn't used AR this year, like a lot of classes do. We use Who's Reading. The big reason is that any book that a student reads, they can take a test on that book. It doesn't have to be something that the school district has purchased a test for. So it's very flexible. So that is still accessible. When your student is trying to access any of those online things, the best way to do it is to have them go, whether it's a school Chromebook or a device of your own home computer. If you go to the Medford School District website, that's medford.k12.or.us. If you just search Medford School District, Oregon, it'll come right up. And if you go to that main web page, over on the right-hand side, there is a sort of a column that shows parents, students, staff, community. If you just click on students, and about halfway down the list that pops up, there's something called the Hello ID portal. And our students use Hello ID on a daily basis. That's sort of our dashboard, our command center for being able to access a lot of these websites. And so that's what they would do from home as well. Go to the Medford School District website, click on students. About halfway down that pop-up list is the Hello ID portal. They go there and they enter their account information just like they would at school. It actually even prompts you as far as what to enter. They just need their student ID number and then their super secret password that they use in class all the time. And if you have any concern about like what my child doesn't remember the password, just send me a message on Class Dojo and I can get that information to you. So that is kind of the big thing I wanted to talk about. I don't see a lot of specific questions here. This is your chance. We've got another 5 minutes or so. If you have anything else you want to say or ask, this is your time. First, quick quiz for you. What's happening tomorrow at 10 o'clock? Talk about it. Turn and talk to your neighbor, your elbow partner. What are we doing at 10 o'clock tomorrow? Give you some think time. All right, come back to me in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, you're right. We're doing the neighborhood parade. Staff and teachers from Kennedy Elementary School are going to be meandering through our student service area. Maybe we'll be honking our horns in a completely non-aggressive fashion. And we'll be waving, and I know some people have been making up signs to hold out the window and decorating their cars and trucks. So we're excited about that. Just a way for us to still be part of your daily experience. That'll happen tomorrow. We're connecting at the school with the staff at 10 a.m. and then we'll kind of head out that way. So somewhere between 10 and 11 o'clock, maybe you'll see us drive past your house. I do want to remind you that Medford School District website really has a lot of great resources. Obviously, there's the pathway for students to be able to connect to the Hello ID portal and get logged into Google Classroom and all of those services or programs. But there's other information about just what's happening district-wide, updates, the latest information from the Oregon Department of Education, from our school superintendent. That's going to be located at the Medford School District website. Also, just information about COVID-19 and what's going on in our community and what you can do, health resources. Also, we've got the hot meal program still going every day, every weekday. Breakfast and lunch is served for free for students under 18 years old, 18 and under. Take advantage of that. They are serving in our district, in our service area at North Medford High School. There will be an exact location and times on the school district website, but that is an amazing service that I hope you're able to take advantage of, those meals every day. No cost to students 18 years and under. Again, just a reminder that parent communication, anything I'm sending to parents, will be through Class Dojo. So I'm going to ask you to be a little bit closer, connective-wise to Class Dojo. As we move forward than you might normally have been. I mean, I know that you all love to see all those posts that I put out there. Who wouldn't, right? But especially right now when we don't have the face-to-face option, if you can just kind of stay connected to Class Dojo. The school story has a lot of great information directly from Mr. Attell and other teachers. And then the class story, of course, is information from me. And I appreciate that. And then also for students, the major point of communication will be, once we get up and running with Chromebooks, through Google Classroom. Let me take a look at our questions here. I love seeing these names pop up over here. That just makes me so happy. Like I said, I mentioned that I've got this Brandon-shaped vacancy in my daily schedule, but there are 27 little student-shaped vacancies in my daily schedule. It's not nearly as much fun to do work if I don't have you guys around. So I love seeing these names here. How long do kids usually use the websites in class? Okay, so Tiffany, kind of about 30 minutes to 45 minutes a day is sort of the rule of thumb that I'm hearing from the school district as far as using doing the learning grid activities and lessons. It's really up to you. Again, grace and simplicity. Find something that is a good balance for your family. There are a lot of resources that they can be using. They could be parked on that all day, but why? Get outside as much as possible, do jigsaw puzzles. Miss Crandall and I just finished our 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle this morning and got a new one ready to go. We're excited about that. Read books, talk, draw art, do projects, things like that. I don't want this to be like we are tied to having to do lessons. This is a pretty amazing opportunity to learn in a lot of different ways. So I'm not sure if that answers your question, Tiffany. But I would say, 30 minutes to an hour a day is maybe a good rule of thumb there. Brandon wants to know about mystery Skype. Okay, so here's the deal. I don't know how we would necessarily do a mystery Skype in the classic sense. And parents, if you don't know what mystery Skype is, have your students explain that to you. Basically, what it is a video conferencing game, a strategy game where our class connects with another class from somewhere else in the world. And we do it via Skype or Google Hangouts or Zoom. And we ask questions, kind of 20 questions style with yes or no answers to try to determine where the other class is located, hopefully before they figure out where our class is located. And we've been practicing that, and we have not ever actually had our first mystery Skype session with this group. So it just didn't quite get that pulled off in time. But I have actually been thinking about that, Brandon. How can we still do that with this new situation that we're in? I think we can figure it out. We're pretty smart people. So I don't know yet, but when we meet together on those Tuesday morning sessions, then we can talk about it more. So are we saying that this is starting Monday? Okay, so Mr. Oseth, or Mrs. Oseth, Wyatt. So as far as, the learning grid that I sent out yesterday, that is, it even says on the top there, I think, soft start. So that's really meant to just kind of get us familiar with the format, the language of it, and just kind of try it out. No pressure. If you're able to send me a picture in Class Dojo of something that your kiddo did, I would love that. That's awesome. It gets us in that habit. Please do an activity. Take a picture, take a video, send it to me so I can see what's going on. Just it helps us to be connected. But it's not necessarily like a required thing. I'm not going to be issuing a grade this week saying, yes, pass, fail, you did it, you didn't do it. But we want to get in that habit of doing these weekly things. I will put out a new learning grid for next week, and that will have a little bit more involved in it. Still very manageable, but a little bit more content focused. But again, until we get everybody with a Chromebook, which won't happen until the end of next week or the beginning of the following week, it's going to be pretty loose. We're not trying to make this like we are starting Monday morning. But I will go ahead and do a video message Monday morning. We will not be doing student groups on Tuesday, but my plan probably is still to do the Wednesday at 5:30 Zoom meeting. YouTube Live, just like we're doing right now. Any other questions? Let me look at what's going over here. I see Ashley is over there on Dojo. And then, great. Incidentally, this video will become, it is becoming right now. It will be posted on this YouTube channel. So it might be a good thing for you to subscribe to this channel. Not going to be a whole lot of exciting hijinks and content that I'll be creating, but just to be able to go back and look at this broadcast if you need some information from here, might be a good way to stay connected there. All right. Hey, Maritza, so good to see you there. Glad that you're here. And yes, Mr. Chambers, I will send a notification on Dojo about the virtual classroom. I'll keep you posted on that. Like I said, I'm not going to try to inundate you with information. I want it to be manageable and usable, but I want to make sure that you are not overwhelmed with information. Just no need for that. We're going to wrap this up in just a couple more minutes. If there is anything that you want to ask, this is the moment right there, over there in the chat window. And I'm hoping that a lot of kiddos are here Sophia says hi to pizza. Hey, pizza. And I got somebody else right here who wants to say hi to the class as well. So look at that.
Hey.
It's Miss Crandall. The librarian followed me home.
I did, yeah. Miss you guys. Hopefully we'll see you at the parade tomorrow. All right.
Yeah, we are super excited. And also my class, there's a good chance that at some point you're going to see Loki, the demon cat, that makes an appearance in these video calls as well. Hopefully he'll mind his manners.
He was on.
Yeah. So, all right. Anything else? Hey, hi, Sophia. This is so cool. All right. I'm going to go ahead and sign off in about another 30 seconds. And if you have anything that you're thinking about later on, please just send me a message in Class Dojo. We're going to get through this. This is going to be not just survival. It's going to be thriving. We'll find a way to make sure that we are moving forward with our learning, with our education, with our discovery, and with these relationships. These are so important. I don't want to lose touch with our class any more than they want to lose touch with each other. So we're going to make a way to keep that alive through the rest of the school year. And it's going to be awesome. It'll be something we can look back at and say, you know what? That was a success. That was good stuff. All right. Wyatt, can't wait to see you either. You guys are awesome. Hey, what's that? Let me see. Another message, last chance here. Oh, Ashley says she's sad that she doesn't get to spend her 9th birthday with her classmates. Yeah, I know. But hey, I've got a guitar right behind me there. We can still do birthday songs in a video conference. We'll figure this out. There is no challenge that we can't find a way around because, like I said, we're smart people. We'll figure this stuff out. Okay, I think that is left here. Oh, Jameson says hello. He misses everyone. Yeah, we miss you too, Jameson. All right, that's it, guys. If you have any other questions, post them in Class Dojo. I will get back to you as quickly as I can. And hey, have a great rest of your week and a great weekend. Bye from Miss Crandall. And bless you guys. See you soon.
Aww. Not gonna hear that.